Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This is the 70th part of What If Deku Was Sanji's Reincarnation, My Heroes Reborn. The author of this great fanfic is Ivily. Links to them and original story in the description. Chapter 70, After the Reassessment. Aizawa inhaled sharply. He wished that Priestess never joined the League of Villains. Not just because 16s were dealing, even if one of the worlds ran on rainbows and friendship, with the past lives, but also because of the insanity from the other worlds. It was clear that unless Izuku or Katsuki pissed something in the commission off, they were going to be the top heroes as soon they broke away from being sidekicks. Honestly, he wouldn't be surprised if All Might or Hibiki just gave Izuku, Katsuki, and Momo money just so they could start their own agency right away due to the power levels they showed at this moment. Though with Momo, her family could fund her, but that was beside the point. All right. I think we have a good idea on how to train you 6 from this point forward and we'll know what to expect when we need to test you," said Aizawa. The 6 all nodded. "Also please, during the license exam, please just give the students from the other schools a fighting chance during any possible battle portion," said Aizawa. They all looked at each other. "I don't know if we can make any promises," said Momo. Aizawa just sighed. "You can go back to the dorms now," said Aizawa. The 6 students left to get changed out of their costumes and head back to the dorms. As they were leaving, Aizawa had gotten a text. It was from Hibiki. "Hey, you want to get some drinks tonight? I think after today you might need some." Aizawa sighed and sent 2 messages. "I don't think I can do it on such short notice. But I'll make sure I'm free on the day of the license exam." Hibiki quickly texted back. "Yeah, you're probably going to need it after that." Aizawa sighed, hoping he could get through the next few days after viewing those fights. Sometime later they made it back to the dorms, though it did take some wrangling to get Katsuki and Mashireo back there. "I didn't need your help," yelled Katsuki. "You took 5 wrong turns," muttered Mashireo. "You took more than that," growled Katsuki. The rest of the class sweat dropped as they saw the argument. "Demon!" yelled Mineta, who then ran out of the room. There was an awkward silence. "What the fuck?" yelled Katsuki. "To be fair, you did use an attack that made you resemble a demon god," said Izuku, trying to calm him down. Katsuki glared at him. "Oh come on, Bakugo. Your fight was really manly," said Kirishima. "Besides, it's just Mineta," muttered Momo. "He passed out as soon as your fight was over." Bakugo just scoffed. "So are we going to ask how he did that thing?" asked Kaminari. "I don't think he'd actually spill his secrets," said Siro. The rest of the afternoon and evening was normal for what it was like in the dorms, minus Mineta trying to avoid Katsuki. Izuku of course made dinner for everyone. And during dinner there were something several students wanted to know. "How did you even meet All Might?" asked Siro. "Oh, it's complicated," said Izuku. He remembered what to say about his quirk when someone asked. "He and All Might started working on the fake story. He was the one to notice how my quirk worked," said Izuku. "Really?" asked Achiko. "If I had awakened it as a kid it probably would have blown my limbs off," said Izuku. Everyone looked at Izuku horrified. "Seriously?" asked Siro. "That's as messed up," said Kaminari. "I had to clean a beach in order to gain enough muscle mass," said Izuku. "Oh, you mean that one that was cleaned by a mysterious good Samaritan?" asked Momo. "That was me," said Izuku. "You know, if we can, one day we should go to the beach," said Toru. "Oh, that would be a great idea," said Achiko. "We would have to talk with the teachers," pointed out Ida. "But it would still be fun to see the beach cleared," said Achiko. Katsuki, however, looked at Izuku, trying not to say anything. Once everyone was done with dinner, Katsuki suddenly grabbed Izuku by the collar and began to drag him away. We need to talk in private now, said Katsuki. What? Yelled Izuku as Katsuki dragged him away. I have my reasons, yelled Katsuki. So? Said Ochako. I get the feeling if anyone eavesdrops, Katsuki is going to try to kill us, said Toru. Mina looked at Kyoka and Shoji. No, both of them said at the same time. Mina pouted. Katsuki managed to drag Izuku to his bedroom. Firecracker noticed her human and walked over. What did you want to talk about? Muttered Izuku, entering Sanji mode. It's about the quirk All Might gave you, muttered Katsuki. Izuku froze when he said that and quickly left Sanji mode. I don't know what you're talking about, said Izuku, sweating profusely. Both Katsuki and Firecracker stared him. Did you seriously forget what you told me after our fight during that class? Yelled Katsuki. That was when Izuku remembered what he told him before the USJ. About having a borrowed quirk. Izuku sighed. I need to call All Might, sighed Izuku. Fine, said Katsuki. Izuku did so. All Might picked up. Is everything okay? Asked All Might. Not really, said Izuku. Remember when I told Kaken about having a borrowed quirk, while he figured everything out? That was when All Might coughed up blood. And it was loud enough that Katsuki was able to hear over the phone. Did he just throw up? Asked Katsuki. Meet me near the edge of the forest with young Bakugo, said All Might. I'm sorry, All Might, cried Izuku. It's fine. I was thinking of talking to you about forming your own support system soon, said All Might. Okay, said Izuku. I'll see you there, said All Might. Izuku hung up his phone. So All Might wants to talk, said Katsuki. Yeah, said Izuku, just try to keep calm with what he shows you. What the fuck that does mean? Asked Katsuki. You'll see, sighed Izuku. The elevator ride down to the first floor was quiet. They then mowed their way through the common room. Hey! Where are you headed? Asked Ochako. Oh, just something else we need to talk about, and we figured it would be better if we talk about it outside, said Izuku. Just be back before curfew, said Ida. We will, said Izuku. And if you are late, said Ida, adjusting his glasses. I know a teacher will help me, said Izuku. Okay, said Ochako. Izuku practically dragged Katsuki to the spot Izuku knew that All Might wanted to meet. They got to the met-up spot where All Might, in his muscular form, was waiting for them. I didn't need you to drag me here, yelled Katsuki. You got lost while sitting down, yelled Izuku, clearly in Sanji mode. Whoever told you that was a liar, yelled Katsuki. It was Luffy, and we both know he never learned how to lie, yelled Izuku. All Might just sweat dropped at the two bickering. Young Bakugo, said All Might. So about that quirk, said Katsuki. Before I tell you about my quirk, there is something I must show you, said All Might. Just try to keep as calm as possible. Whatever, muttered Katsuki, expecting it to not blow his mind. Then All Might deflated and he started to freak out. What the fuck? Yelled Katsuki. What the fuck is going on? Who the fuck? Young Bakugo, calm down, said All Might, who then coughed up blood. What the fuck? Yelled Katsuki. He decided to calm down by going into Zoro mode. So let me get straight, you got severely injured, and because of that you can only hold your hero form for a short time a day, said Katsuki. Unfortunately, said All Might. How are you alive? Asked Katsuki. Extensive surgery, said All Might. I mean, I still have a lung. But without a stomach, said Katsuki. You can live without a stomach. I did some research after he told me about it, said Izuku. It's just an extreme version of a gastric bypass, said All Might. Wait, is he the one you've been cooking for? Asked Katsuki. Everyone had stumbled upon him cooking All Might's meals, with the story being that recovery girl wanting to make him meals for a patient of hers who was on a strict diet. Yeah, said Izuku. So who else knows? Sked Katsuki. A few close friends, the entire staff of the school, including Hibiki and Aiko. Also young Uraraka knows about my injuries. She found out after what happened at Island, said All Might. David Shield mentioned it in front her, explained Izuku. Also, we told Mom about his injury when we finally told her about the mentorship. Katsuki nodded. I see, muttered Katsuki. As for the quirk, sighed All Might, only Nizu and Recovery Girl knows about it on staff. And only a few people outside of school. And not Auntie, said Katsuki. No, I haven't been able to tell Mom, said Izuku. Why the fuck not? Yelled Katsuki. Because it's dangerous to know, sighed All Might. Tell me one reason why it's too dangerous to know, yelled Katsuki. All Might sighed and told him about One for All and the fact he thought that man was dead when he gave his quirk to Izuku. You just had to have a built-in enemy with that quirk, muttered Katsuki. Yeah, sighed Izuku. Whatever, said Katsuki. He's taking it better than I thought, thought Izuku with a sweat drop. If you're wondering why I'm not taking it badly, it's because I know you diverse it more, muttered Katsuki, glaring at Izuku. Izuku's sweat dropped. Unless you somehow met Hibiki and he agreed to make you weapons or got hit by Priestess before you got that quirk, then it would have been your only way you could be a hero, muttered Katsuki. Izuku sighed, knowing that Katsuki was right. It wasn't like he had trained beforehand. All Might remembered that Izuku had mentioned devil fruits to him at least once and knew that there were plenty of people in his past life without superpowers, and both of them were among those people. But the sad truth was that Izuku didn't even try to get stronger before they met, so there was that. Don't worry, I'll keep quiet about it, muttered Katsuki, but you do have to tell Auntie one day. You can't hide this from her forever. Izuku sighed. All Might sighed at that too. Also, there's someone else I think you should tell about One for All, said All Might. What? Said Izuku. Honestly, I was planning to suggest that you tell Hibiki, said All Might / Really? Asked Izuku. He's someone I know would be able you in the future for sure, and he has more than earned my trust, said All Might. I think I'll wait until after the license exam, said Izuku, since I should be focused on that. All Might smiled at Izuku. You're not angry that Kaken found out? Asked Izuku. No. I know he's already trustworthy considering you have a bond that surpasses lifetimes, said All Might. Can you not put it that way? Said Katsuki. It kind of sounds like we were romantically involved with each other, said Izuku. All Might's sweat dropped at the two of them. By the way, said Katsuki, how did you give him that quirk? Please don't tell him, said Izuku, blushing bright red. Passes through consumption of DNA, said All Might. That's all I will say. I'm just going to think All Might spat in your drink, said Katsuki, not wanting the story. Why didn't I think of that? Mumbled All Might. I just heard you, said Katsuki, who was sweating. Izuku sighed, knowing he had no other choice. I ate a strand of his hair, said Izuku. That is some stalker bullshit, muttered Katsuki. Yeah, I know, said Izuku. Maybe it's better if you head back to the dorms, said All Might. It's getting late. Yeah, glasses will scold us if we're late, said Katsuki, wandering in the wrong direction. Izuku sighed, grabbed, and led him to the right direction. It's this way, TNT for brains, muttered Izuku, entering Sanji mode. I knew that, yelled Katsuki in denial. All Might chuckled as the two left, knowing that Katsuki was a good person to be left in the loop considering everything. As they walked back to the dorms, Izuku sighed. He knew what it was like to juggle between personalities, and because of that he did have to ask Katsuki something. Are you really not mad? Asked Izuku. That All Might chose me? I wasn't lying back there when I said that was the only way it could have happened, muttered Katsuki, especially since you only applied your brains and not your body. Izuku sighed at that. If it has anything to do with what happened with the sludge villain, I can't blame him for choosing you, muttered Katsuki. Izuku blushed when he said that. It's better you got your chance, said Katsuki. Thanks, said Izuku. Whatever, muttered Katsuki. They managed to get back to the dorms before curfew. But it was still a few days away from the license exam, and little did any of them know it was going to be a very hectic day for sure. And in a way they weren't expecting. That will be it for this part. I hope everyone enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and comment if you want part 71. If you want to hear more from me, subscribe. I hope to see you all in the next one.